From a surge in SOSMA detentions to increasing restrictions on freedom of assembly, Jernell Tan from SUARAM, Malaysia highlights some troubling trends and challenges facing human rights in Malaysia.
We're looking at this year a resurgence in terrorism-related detentions under SOSMA, which is the Security Offences Special Measures Act 2012. And concurrently, we also saw a drastic increase in the number of organised crime-related detentions, in fact, from 11 people last year to 107. So let's say last year, for example, for organised crime, we're only looking at the arrest of 11 members of a drug syndicate. Even that was also an overreach, because prior to this, the government did not use SOSMA against drug syndicate members. For the majority of cases that we saw this year, the police actually, one, they used the normal remand first to arrest these individuals and investigate. After that, they go on to rearrest these individuals under SOSMA. And our long-standing argument for this is that you do not need to do this actually, because the investigation from remand will afford you enough time. In terms of Section 233, we've seen actually an increase in its use in investigating 3R cases, if I'm not mistaken, by 20-30%. What's consistent from last year is that where religion, race, or royalty is concerned, they will tend to also snag in things like Sedition Act, of course, where relevant, and of course relevant provisions of Penal Code, like Sections 504. Sections 505, and where quote-unquote defamation is concerned, and this we especially see in content quote-unquote defaming royal members, or let's say certain high-ranking public authorities, they will also throw in Section 500. So you can see this consistent trend of a host of laws being used as legal arsenal to curtail content, and the government has admitted to this in the importance of using not just Sedition Act but also Communications Multimedia Act, and also certain parts of the Penal Code to actually crack down on content like this.
Jernell also highlights that out of 68 overall public assemblies this year, over a third of them were investigated.
Out of the number of investigated assemblies, 48% of them are actually pro-Palestine solidarity demonstrations, which tells you that as much as certain people like the Home Minister himself said that the government respects the right to assembly and facilitates them even, we all know that whenever you try to investigate assemblies, you're actually conveying a message to the public that you shouldn't really be assembling. Rather, it has a chilling effect on the exercise of that freedom. So in that sense, this statistic is very concerning. And also the number of arrests of individuals have gone up by 60%. Number of overall investigations of individuals have gone up by more than 50%. And of course, the Kami Mau I rally is very emblematic of the arrest lah, because we're talking about the Malaysian teacher and also the 8 stateless youths, including 3 minors.
Jernell also highlights some of the reforms and key measures to take in order to improve the human rights landscape in the country.
To make all data open and accessible. By that, I mean deaths in custody, arrest charges and convictions under the key laws are security laws, freedom of expression laws, etc. So that's one. Second is delay don't continue tabling the current Communication and Multimedia Act amendments, because that's already in there. So stop the tabling and pull it out and consult with civil society, because the amendments really entail a severe overreach of MCMC's powers. And it will really lead to severe censorship, not just of civilians, but also the media themselves. Third is kickstart consultations, or actually I'll have 2 more. Kickstart consultations to amend the procedures related to peaceful assemblies and include civil society as a key stakeholder, not just the police. Lastly, for SOSMA amendments, because the engagements were done, because the findings are there, review it. And make sure that the SOSMA amendments pertaining to the right to fair trial concerns that were raised by us, make sure that they're tabled in Parliament next year, ASAP.